waiting on the airplane, waiting on the dogs. Hey everyone, good to see you again. I've been gone for a little while. I've had some personal engagements to take care of. We had some family in town, so it made shooting a video a little bit difficult, but I'm kind of back today and hopefully got some more videos planned in the near future so we can kind of get this train rolling again. Today I want to talk about tethered shooting and doing it wirelessly and how that can help your food photography. Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. My name is Chris and here we talk about food photography. If that's something you're interested in, I'd urge you to subscribe, hit the notification bell, and follow along for more videos. If you enjoyed the video and you learned something from this or you took something away, I'd urge you to hit the like button on your way out. It does help the channel in the abyss that is the YouTube algorithm. Not that I have that far to go, but it's worth trying. So today we're going to talk about tethered shooting and how tethered shooting can help you with your food photography. What tethered shooting is being able to connect your camera to a device such as a computer or a laptop or a tablet such as an iPad and see what you're shooting in live view as you're building your set. It's extremely convenient because it saves you from having to go through to build a scene, take a photo, look at the back of the camera, recompose the scene when you like something better, take another photo, go back to the camera. Basically this way you're able to build your scene as the camera sees it in a live mode on a larger screen that will help you and speed up your workflow process. So another feature of shooting tethered is being able to see a much larger version of your photo as the actual photo that you've taken as opposed to seeing it on the back of a screen. Sometimes it's easier to pick out things that are distracting or misplaced or kind of, you know, there's something in the background that you didn't notice in your camera. Seeing that on a larger screen definitely helps you with your composition and being able to correct some of those things before you have a final image. Now you can shoot tethered in a couple of different ways. You can literally just put a cable from the camera right into your laptop or your iPad, or you can shoot wirelessly, which takes your freedom to a whole new level. With wireless tethering, you can connect to your iPad or your laptop through either Wi-Fi or Bluetooth, although I would recommend always using the Wi-Fi connection as it is a much stronger, more reliable connection. So how do you shoot tethered? There's a couple ways you can do it. The one, like I said, is you should have a dedicated cable that goes from your camera into your laptop. I think I would assume there's some for things like an iPad, although I've never used one. Usually I just do it wirelessly from there. And it works great. The data transfers a lot quicker than shooting wireless. But then again, you are tethered and kind of held down to something. And there's not a whole lot of moving around you can do for the equipment. When you're shooting wirelessly, you can have the camera freely in your hand and kind of be moving about the scene if you need to. If you're not on a tripod or you're trying to knock off something pretty quick and just, test a couple of angles out, then wireless is probably the easier way to go. Most of the camera companies provide an app. Personally, I use SnapBridge. As I shoot with Nikon, I use the SnapBridge app on my iPad, and you can do this with old generation stuff. My iPad is an iPad 3, so what does that make it? 7, 8, 10 years old, something like that. But it works flawlessly with the SnapBridge app, and it lets me see kind of the scene as I'm building it. And I use the iPad. If you've seen any of my previous videos, you may have seen me on the iPad building out a composition in a set while using that and having the camera in kind of an awkward place, a little bit farther away, shooting with the 105 lens where I have to walk, literally 6, 7, 8 feet in between the camera and the scene. That can get pretty slow down your process a little bit. So it's easier for me to shoot wirelessly that way, tethered through the SnapBridge app. If you're not a Nikon cultist like me, then each of the other camera brands have their own app. I know Canon has the Canon Connect app, I believe it's called. A pretty basic app, just like the SnapBridge app. There's not a whole lot of bells and whistles to it, but what it is good for what I need. And on the Canon, I believe it's very similar in the fact that, you know, you've got bells and whistles. You can change your settings for the camera in the app itself. So, you know, if I want to, you know, if I've got a scene set up and it's looking a little bit dark, I can raise the ISO or slow the shutter speed down. And I can do all that kind of exposure triangle manipulation actually in the app as well. Transfers right to the camera, which again makes things really easy. So I'm not running over here to set something up and then going back to the camera to adjust my settings and take another photo, see what the photo looks like, go back and adjust again. It does basically help speed things up a little bit, but you know, it does take some practice getting used to it. Sony, they have their own apps, although I think Sony charges for some of their apps, which I find a little bit, I guess, Sony. You know, Nikon and Canon both give you that, the apps you can use for free. Then I do know there are some third-party apps that have a lot more bells and whistles and more stuff you can do with those cameras, but I believe you pay for those apps as well. I think one of the apps I saw for controlling your camera and all kinds of live view and things you can do, there was like $60 for the app. But they do exist if that's, you know, if you want to get that deep into it. You know, and if you do want to connect wirelessly, but don't have an app you want to use, there are some other, you know, third-party systems like CamRanger, which I believe, you know, is a little plug-in that goes into your camera with a dongle, and that dongle goes into the PC and it goes wirelessly back and forth. You can buy something like that as well if you're not comfortable with an app or don't have an app or have a brand that, you know, that doesn't really work for you. The CamRangers, from what I hear, they're not cheap. I think it's like $200, but they work pretty well. So who is this for? I mean, if you're shooting in a studio setting and, you know, you want to be able to, you know, see a larger version of what you're working on, it's great for that. If you've got clients in your studio and you want to give them kind of previews of what you're shooting and kind of, you know, talk through the compositions and what they're looking for, then it's a great way to come off as more professional, being able to provide them with that service. And you know, anybody who just wants to, you know, speed up their workflow as they're shooting. You know, time is money, obviously, and the quicker you can get from your shoot to your edit to your post-processing and with the files back out to clients, the more work you can pick up and take. So, you know, if you're in a studio setting and you need to, you know, move through some images and move on to your next project, you know, tethering, whether it's wirelessly or connected, is a great way to help speed things up. So that to me is kind of wireless tethering in a nutshell, or tethering in a nutshell. You know, wirelessly is what I prefer, but you know, you do what's best for you and what works with your workflow. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you got something out of this, like I said, hit the thumbs up button on your way out, and you know, I'd appreciate that. And hope you're having a good week, and I will see you again in the next video. Thanks. Bye for now.